Hey friends, we're on lesson 104. Go ahead and pull that one out and we'll get started. Draw a 4 3/4 inch line segment. So let's go to the inches side of our ruler. 4 3/4 inch. So here's 4. And you'll notice there's slightly, on most rulers, slightly longer lines every once in a while between the inches. So halfway between 4 and 5, there's a longer line, that's 4.5. And in order to figure out a fourth, you go halfway between the 4 and the half. And that's the fourth line. And you'll notice there's 4 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4 in every inch. So we're going to count out 3 of those. We're going to go to 1/4, 1/2, or that's also 2/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 is that next long line. It's halfway between 4.5 and 5. Connect them. Draw a 9 centimeter line segment. So go to the centimeter side this time, all the way to 9 centimeters, and connect. Jason does 10 sit-ups each night. How many sit-ups will he do during the month of March? Okay, so there's a few things we have to know for this. 10 sit-ups each night. So we have to figure out how many nights there are in March, right? So that means how many days are in March. So do your little trick again. Remember, when we land on a knuckle, there's 31. January, in between is February. On a knuckle is March. January, February, March. March has 31. So he does 10 a night and 31 nights. We have 31 groups of 10 sit-ups, okay? So when we multiply 10 or 100 or 1,000 or any one with zeros times something else, we can take the zeros and put them on the end of this number. So the answer is 31 with a 0 on the end of it, 310. He's gonna be in good shape at the end of March. So the answer is 310. And what were they asking? How many sit-ups? 310 sit-ups. Show 4 ways to make 80 cents. So if you need to, go ahead and get this page out. And right after that, so this is page 5, right after that is page 6, and we have our quarter counting. Remember, when we're counting by 25s, it goes 25, 50, 75, $1, or 100, right? 25, 50, 75, 100. So if we're gonna make 80, we can do some groups of quarters. We can always do like 80 pennies. That's fair. Or how about this? We can get there with dimes. How many 10s are in 80? 8 of them, right? I'm going to mark up here, quarter is 25, dime is 10, nickel is 5, and penny is 1. That'll help us later. So 8, and we used 8 total coins to make 80. 8 groups of 10. Now we can do quarters. Let's do 2 quarters. How much is that? 25, 50. So we have 50. Should we do some 10s? 60, 70, 80. 3 dimes. We got to 80, and we only used 10 or 5 coins that time. I don't know if I want to count by 5s all the way to 80. Let's see. Okay, so how about this? There are 10 nickels in 50 cents, right? Because 5 10 times. So we got to 50 cents. Let's start counting by fives. So we have 10 plus, we're gonna start at 50. 55, 60, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. How many more do we need? 6. We had 10 to get to 50, and then we had 6 more. 16 nickels. There we go. Let's do 3/4 this time. How much was 3/4? Do you remember? 25, 50, 75. 75. How many more do we need to get to 80? 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. We need 5. Which one's worth 5? A nickel. Or we could do 5 pennies. We didn't do any pennies yet. Let's do 5 pennies. So we used 8 coins there, 5 and 3. What coins would you use to make 80 cents using the fewest number of coins? Well, if we need the fewest number of coins, that means we start with the biggest ones. And so I'm going to throw out $50 because we don't use those very often. And I'm gonna do some quarters. And instead of Q, I'm gonna write 25 on there because it's just easier for me to think of it that way. So there's 25, 50. Can I do another one? We're doing 80 cents. 25, 50, 75. Can I do another one? Nope, because that would be $1. That's too much. So we're at 75. How much more do we need to get to 80? It's kind of like we figured out over here already. We need a nickel, don't we? There's 80. That's the fewest number of coins we could use because we used all the biggest ones we could. Find the answers. Now, one thing, if it wasn't just a nickel left here, what I would have done is I would have started going with the next biggest coins or the next, the coins with the biggest worth, which would be dimes. And then I would have gone to nickels, and then I would have gone to pennies. Start with the biggest and then work your way down. Find the answers. Check your answer by adding. Okay. You know what? They might have, let's see if they give us enough room here. Just one moment. Tell it's getting colder outside. It's feeling cold in my house tonight. Okay, bigger bottom, gotta borrow, right? So, go to the neighbor. Neighbor doesn't have anything. Go to the next neighbor. Borrow 1. Can't take it home. We gotta bring it to this neighbor and share. And then borrow 1 and then bring it home. Okay? Now, 13 take away 9 is 4. 9 take away 2 is 7. And 8 take away 7 is 1. Now, the way we would check this by adding, I'm going to give myself some room and just write it here. Whoops. The way we would check this by writing, good grief. The way we would check this by adding is to do 174 plus 729. Remember, we check by just going backwards in the problem, and we need to get 903 in order for our work to be correct. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 7 plus 2 is 9, and 1 more is 10. 7, 8, 9. So because this matches this, that means that my subtraction was right. So in order to check the subtraction, we go backwards in the problem and add, right? So next one, 600 take away 158. I'm gonna do it on here because when we do a lot of borrowing, I just like having more room. Bigger bottom, gotta borrow, but I can't go to this neighbor because I don't have anything. So I go to the next neighbor, borrow 1, bring it to this neighbor, borrow 1, bring it home. 10 take away 8 is 2, a wonky looking 2. 9 take away 5 is 4. and 5 take away 1 is 4. 442. Now, in order to check subtraction, we add going backwards, right? So we take this, 442, we add this, 158, and we should get this. Let's figure it out. 8 and 2 is 10. 5 plus 4 plus 1 is 10. And 4 plus 1 is 6. So we got our 600. Last one, 540, take away 317. Okay, bigger bottom, gotta borrow. We can borrow from the neighbor this time. Borrow 1, bring it back home. 10 take away 7 is 3. 3 take away 1 is 2. And 5 take away 3 is 2. 223. Now what do we do in order to check it? Go backwards. 223 plus 317 equals, and we have to get 540. 7 plus 3 is 10. 2 and 1 and 1 is 4. 3 and 2 is 5. 540. 540. Nope. 223. Okay, now if you do something like this where you use a lot of scratch paper, would you please take a picture of it and submit this when you submit your side B? It helps me out when I'm grading to know that you did your work. There are 8 people in line. You are third. Always, when they do these, draw a picture, because it seems like a very simple problem and it's very easy to get it wrong. So there are 8 people in line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You are third. Right? That's me. 1, 2, 3. I'm third. How many people are before you? 1, 2, because this is the beginning of the line, right? What fractional part is that? So it's 2 out of how many people were in line? 8, right? 2 out of 8 were in front of me. Each person takes a half an hour. How long will you have to wait for your turn? So that means this person is taking a half an hour, and this person is taking a half an hour, and then it's me. So how long do I have to wait? Half plus a half is 1 hour. Write this as you would on a check. Now, if you need to, open it up to the pages that help you with spelling, spelling numbers, page 13. This one right here. Okay, that might help you out a little bit, because some of these are tricky. There's a few of them that still get me. 40, for some reason, always gets me. Well, I know why. Because 4 is F-O-U-R, and 40 is F-O-R with no U in it, T-Y. And that doesn't seem right at all to me. 51,000, that's what the comma is for, 1,000, $51,240. And when I read that, I'm picturing this crossed off, and I'm just reading the part in front of it first. $51,240. Then I read the cents and 16 cents. Otherwise, there's a lot of numbers in here, and the commas can kind of screw me up a little bit. So 50, see if I find room. 1,000. Do like I did and practice reading it to yourself before you start. 51,000, it's easier than figuring it out while you go. 240. There's that word that always gets me. $240. Nope, I ran out of room. And how many cents? 16 over what? How do we do cents? 16 over 100, right? Because it's 16 cents out of $1, out of 100 cents. They never give me enough room on those lines. Use the correct comparison symbol, greater than, less than, or equal to. 62 times 1,000. Remember, we can take these zeros and move them over here. And then we have 62,000. 100 times this is 584 with 2 zeros after it. And then we go 1, 2, 3, comma. So, take a look. 62,000. 58,040, which is bigger. 62, right? Mouth eats the bigger number. And then we go on. Now, square roots. We haven't done this for a few minutes. Remember, you can look at your multiplication chart for this one. Square roots are a number times itself. What in the world is a multiplication chart? 21. Okay, remember, square roots are the shaded ones that are going diagonally right here, right? So we need square root of 64. So even if this wasn't shaded, I would look at where 8 and 8 met when they multiplied, because our square root is a number times itself. So the square root of 64 is 8 times itself. Oops, sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see the top. 8 times itself. 8 times 8 is 64. So square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 49. There's 49. That's 7 times 7. 7. Now we have a plus sign between them. 8 plus 7 is 15 on this side. Now dividing. Something times 10 equaled 150. If I'm dividing and both the numbers end in a 0, I can cross off the 0. And then I have a smaller division problem. 15 divided by 1. How many times does 1 go into 15? 15 times. 15 times 1 is 15. They are equal. That division's a little tricky. We'll get it down. Okay, we're going to add a lot of calculations on this one. We're going to add here, and remember, the most important thing we can do is line up the decimal points. We will not get a right answer if we don't line up the decimal points. So here and here. Oops, sorry. I'll put them on there first. 2649. 2649.37. 3457.48. Double check everything. Make sure you copied it down right. Otherwise, all of your hard work will be wasted. Okay, we're going to add them up. 8 plus 7, 15. 4 plus 3 is 7, and 1 more is 8. 9 plus 7 is 16. 5 plus 4 is 9, and 1 more is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10, and 1 more is 11. 3 plus 2 is 5, and 1 more is 6. So the answer to this side is 6,106.85. Okay. We need decimal points on this side. Also, 422693187708. Okay, we're going to add these up too. 8 plus 3 is 11, 9 and 1 is 10, 7 and 6 is 13, and 1 more is 14. 7 and 2 is 9, and 1 more is 10. 8 and 2 is 10, and 1 more is 11. 4 and 1 is 6. 6104.01. Okay. If we did our math right, which is bigger? 6,106, 6,104. So the 6's are the same, the 1's are the same, the 0's are the same. 6 and 4, which is bigger? The mouth eats the bigger one. So if we're comparing numbers that are that big, we just start with the biggest ones and start working our way down to see which is bigger. Okay, there's lots of new stuff in here today, it seems. More stuff we haven't done in a little while. Take your time, do a good job. If you have to go back and rewatch the video, go ahead and do that. And have a good afternoon.